So let me ask you a question because
Oh,
I've been
please.
doing
I
these.
love it
I've
when
been
the
doing these.
interviewee becomes the interviewer.
Yeah, these Instagram lives, and I've been asking like, so what is? So you've read the book. What is sacred surrender? What does surrender look like to you? Or the tagline is the practice of waiting well with God. Like, how do you wait well?
It's really interesting because I read this book right around the time I was going back and reevaluating another book that I loved from years ago from Dr. David Hawkins, Letting Go,
Yeah, you
right? The
had me read
technique
that
of
years
letting
ago.
go.
Yeah.
And they were both so on par. And it was during this time where I was going through my own stuff, a center closing, mishaps with opening another center in LA, people angry at me, and all these things. I was like, oh my goodness, like my life is over, right? This is all I knew for 20 plus years, and suddenly it's all falling apart, it felt. And so I was reading both of these books, and I think on one end, you had someone like Hawkins, who was a psychologist and very kind of science based, but also getting into this spiritual element. On
Yeah.
the other hand, you had the sacred surrender, something that was, again, something of a higher cause, a connection to God, this faith based sort of side into surrendering. But both were speaking, slightly different words, same language in the universal aspect of it. And I really love that you brought it down to a place that I feel most people can actually lean into, right? To journaling a little bit more. Whereas I find Hawkins' work sometimes a little tough for people to read. It's, verbose, and
Heavy.
it has these psychological terms and kinesiological applications of how he found out you have to do this or that to let go. I find yours much more applicable and connecting because everyone goes through these things, right? It wasn't disease for me right now, but it was a very challenging spiritual time, I feel like, for me through that. And so to read this and to be like, okay, all is still well,
Yeah.
I still have a beautiful life. I could do something. I could lean into the next chapter instead
Yeah.
of focusing on a chapter that I thought was supposed to be a certain way. So I think in reading that, it gave me a ton of hope. And I love that idea of not just surrendering it, but doing it in the sacred way so you're not alone, even when you feel alone, right? That you
Yeah.
have that connection to something higher. So, and then it is this idea of like, does it have to happen tomorrow, Casper? Does a new venture need to open up, right? We talked about this. It was like, well, one thing's closing. It would be great if we could just put them right
Yep.
into the next thing. It's like, but yeah, God's probably like, no, no, no. Enjoy life a little bit, relax a little bit after this. Let it happen naturally. Don't force it. I know that too, that when you try and control a situation, expectations high, you usually get let down, and suddenly you see the world as, oh, it's so negative. Why didn't this work out?
Yeah.
But when you go into that surrender, letting go attitude, things start to come back to you, right? So I've always done that, the ebbs and flows of life. I'm no better than anyone else. I have lots of faults, and I find myself sometimes in the negative.
Yeah.
But then I remember from the past and from my, techniques and all the toolkit that I have
Yeah.
that this has always been good, right? It always ends up okay if I allow it to and let go and surrender. So I found, your book to really put that in terms that was so much more applicable and easy to understand for me, and just brought me back to that kind of core principle of, oh, I know this inside. And when I read it, it sounds true to me in the heart. So, and it is, I have to say, I think it should be a prerequisite for anyone going through hard times
Love
or
that.
at least Lyme disease and other diseases where it's tough. It's a
Yeah.
tough start. And I feel like a lot of people don't know where to start and start looking outside for who's the right doctor. And yes, that's important. But start here with you and getting yourself ready
That's good.
and surrendering some of that so that you are most open to receive the best kind of care, the best healing journey moving forward.
I love
So,
that. I'm
yeah.
so glad it blessed you. We used to joke years ago that we're going to write a book together one day. So who knows? Maybe when the new
I
center
mean, you're
is
already the author here, so this could be a follow up to this. I mean,
Could do all the testimonies of your patients or
I love so
something.
much about it that, yeah, it is sort of like, I think if ever there was a follow-up, it would be to the tip and techniques now going into a little bit of the
Wow.
nitty-gritty of like
Yeah.
continue on, right? This
Yeah,
was your
that's good.
first step into it.
Mm.
And now here are all the things you learned about living non-toxic, how to think, how to apply this technique, how to use faith with other things, right? And really start to live. It's almost reminds me, I know you saw this, the course we came up with, Empowered Healing, all the years back, and all the little steps you could do to empower yourself more. So yes, when you are ready to write another book, I will give it a shot to write and help you out. But I mean,
You got a few things on your plate right now.
I
We'll
got a,
wait.
yeah, a few, but yeah, I'll wait and we'll put that book out shortly. But I have to ask for you, what's next? You got this book out, your first. You have music. You got albums out. What's next for you spiritually and personally?
Well, we put out the book in October, and then in November, we did a Sacred Surrender Deluxe Edition
That's right.
album. So that just released. But the thing I'm so excited about, besides taking the next 10 days off starting Friday, a total
Yes.
break for Christmas and New Year's, um, I am releasing for the first time, I'm calling it my passion project. It's something I have wanted to do
Ooh.
since I signed my first record deal at 24 years of age. And what we did, it's an independent EP, it's 5 tracks, is we got into the studio, producer hit record. I was behind this gorgeous grand Yamaha C7 for those
Mm.
musicians out there. It's a gorgeous Yamaha grand piano. And we hit record, and I just got to, for I think the first one was like 30 minutes long, just sing and play whatever spontaneously was coming to my heart and my spirit and my mind. So
Oh,
I made
wow.
up this kind of on the spot. It would almost be like if I invited you into my living room and I was just pouring my heart out, pouring my thoughts out, pouring my worship out to God, pouring my prayers out, their declarations, their what I would call like some prophetic thoughts that I hope help people. There's one called Be Healed. There's one called Be Still. There's one called Be Free. There's the
Mm.
last one called The Benediction. There's one called
Mm.
Find Hope. And we took that long kind of flowy time, the producer and I, and we went through and we chopped it up into these 5 segments. It's nothing you would ever hear on Christian radio. It's nothing that, it's not commercialized in any way. We did some minor edits, but we didn't even do what you typically do on an album. You typically edit the life out of everything. We kept it
Mm-hmm.
raw. We kept it
Mm.
real. Even my voice, if it cracked at times, we kept those tracks. And then this was the most special part. We took a little break and we invited a small string section into the studio that day. We hit record on what I had recorded, and we just let them on the spot, a cellist, a violinist, a violist, we just let them play along. And Casper, I mean, it is just some of my
Wow.
favorite music I've ever gotten to do. That they're kind of like lullabies. They're
Yeah.
my vision for it is, say somebody is in the hospital, they would put on track 3, Be Healed, and they would hear me singing into Cancer Has No Place. You can, someone's anxious and can't get settled down at night. They would put on the anxiety one and just hear peace, peace be still, and it would just wash over them. So my prayer is it's like a healing tool for people. And that's going to release the end of February. And I think my next big music goal is a Christmas album, like a jazzy classic Christmas
Yeah.
album for next Christmas. But my dream, my new dream is just my wife era, my mom era.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
I'm trying to take some time to focus on what needs to happen for that to happen.
Yeah, you got
So
to manifest that too. I know that's a big part of the book. And yeah, that
yeah.
that takes time. Listen, I understand it too as someone that, for 20 plus years was always looking for that person looking, and I had to change things myself
Yeah.
and surrender,
Yeah.
right? And
And
that's a big part of it too.
slow down a
Yeah,
little. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but it will come. You know it. You have that connection with God. He made you wait a little longer to make it
Yeah.
that much sweeter. So it's
Yeah.
coming for you. And I love
Yes.
that idea of that album. I can't wait to hear it because it's just so, like you said, raw authenticity. that people crave. They don't want
Yeah.
auto tune and, 20 other people working on this to make it a little bit better and Photoshop it, so to
No.
say, right?
No.
This is what people need, and I think that is what is healing. It's the old way of just going directly with an instrument with the frequency of love and hope. So
Yeah.
that's an amazing one as well.
It's going to be called Sacred Moments.
Ah, love it. And it all
Yeah.
ties in. Sacred
Yeah.
surrender, sacred moments. Oh, that's so cool. I love that.